Mom, I just went and handed in yours and Dad's divorce papers for you guys.
What?
That means you are no longer my mom anymore. And people that aren't a part of the family anymore need to leave this house. At least that's what Dad has always told me.
Huh? What are you going on about, Madison? You really think I'm going to fall for a joke like that one? You couldn't have actually handed in our divorce papers without one of us being there. The people never would have taken them from you.
I'm not joking, Mom. This is very real. I really did just go into the courthouse and hand your divorce papers to the person at the desk. She was a bit surprised to see me handing in papers like that, but she took them from me anyway. So there.
What?
Mom, you have been really annoying lately. And I mean really, really annoying. Always making little comments about me like I'm causing you problems or something. And even this morning you were getting all upset over nothing, right?
Your room is still dirty. Why haven't you cleaned out your lunchbox? Why are all your dirty clothes still in the bathroom? Yeah.
I had to listen to little annoying things like that all the time from you. So, after thinking about how to get rid of you, I came up with a really good plan. And that plan was, by having you get divorced from Dad, you can no longer live in this house with us.
Huh?
I'm a really smart middle schooler, aren't I? I was able to copy both of your signatures onto those papers. Luckily, I had a lot of practice with that from signing you guys' signatures on all kinds of papers at school. Oh, and along with your fake signatures, I was able to find all the information I needed about you guys from all those files you left in the desk drawer. And with the kind lady at the courthouse taking those papers for me and not questioning a thing, my plan is now complete.
You're lying, right? Hold on now, Madison. So you actually walked to the courthouse today and handed in your dad's and my divorce papers? Your very own parents' divorce papers?
I bet you are freaking out right now. But I'd be freaking out too if I were you. Because in your situation, without Dad around, you are nothing more than a jobless loser. And now that I've handed in you guys' papers, you are pretty much done for, Mom. Ha!
The reason I was always making all those comments was to make sure you'd be ready for your future and can take care of yourself, all right? You are a middle schooler now, yet there are a lot of things you still don't take care of that you should be able to manage. And any time I would try and punish you, you'd just start to throw a temper tantrum like you're still 5. If you don't learn how to start being responsible for the things you do and say, you're going to have a tough time as an adult. No university is going to want to deal with you. No job is going to want to deal with you. And no man will ever want to be around you. So even if some of my comments are harsh, that's because I love you. And I want to see you succeed in the future.
What love are you talking about, you old doofus? And what's wrong with me not being able to do everything myself? The whole reason you're always home and don't work is to clean up after me and cook everything I want, right? I'm the reason you've been a part of this family in the first place. But since you want to complain all the time about that, you can say goodbye to this family now. Dad and I don't need you around because we both know we were only leaving the chores and cooking alone so that you'd actually have something to do.
Excuse me.
I bet you always complain because you want to have an easy life, right? You probably married a man like that thinking he'd be able to make the money and pay the bills, all while you sat back and used his money. However, that's not the life you get to live now. Your job isn't to sit around all day and complain, and what you've been doing to me sure isn't because you love me. You're supposed to be the housewife, yet all you do is slack off. Ha!
How come you've started to think like that?
This is the punishment you get for slacking off and not doing your job as a housewife. Ha! I bet you never thought the day would come when your own daughter would hand in your divorce papers and get you kicked out of the house. Now you're not only going to be jobless, But you'll have no house either. Hee.
Well, that's what'll happen to your father, actually.
What?
Before, I was always home doing things a housewife would do, like the chores and cooking 3 meals a day for everyone. But now I've been working from home. You've been living with me this whole time and never noticed me in my office doing work on the computer?
Since when have you been working an actual job? You had always done the chores here. What else are you trying to say you've been doing? Oh, right! Sometimes I'll see you on your computer, but I'm sure you're just slacking off watching YouTube or something, right?
I'm working, Madison. I'm working. I use my computer here to get my job done, and I do remember from time to time me telling you that I'm starting work in the morning.
What? That's you actually working then?
Recently, your dad's company that he works for hasn't been doing too well. So in order to bring in a bit more money for us due to inflation and all of that, I started to work myself. Thanks to that, we have been saving up some more money. But at the beginning of this year, your dad's company ended up going bankrupt.
Huh? It went bankrupt?
I didn't want to worry anyone, so I made sure to keep all of that a secret, but there you go. So as of right now, this house is being held together with Mom's paychecks. And since I thankfully have a remote job, I can work as much as I need to make as much money as we need.
What did you say?
Yet out of nowhere, you went and got your mom and dad divorced. Right as you thought you'd be getting me kicked out of the house, you just got your dad and yourself kicked out. If you really hate me that much that you'd do something as stupid as that, then you and your dad can leave this house right now. I will not have a brainless child and her unemployed dad sitting around in my house all the time.
I just heard what's happened from Madison. I can understand her being a little crazy at times due to being in middle school still, and handing in our divorce papers. Who did she end up getting that kind of reckless behavior from?
She really is a pain in our necks now. I tried to get her to settle down a bit by telling her about you and your current situation. And then I told her if she really doesn't want to be around me, then she can leave this house with you instead.
What? You told her that?
Of course I don't actually plan to kick you out of the house. I was just trying to scare her into shutting up was all. I hope that helped her out a little in understanding just how much of an idiot she was by handing in her own parents' divorce papers. I'll go to the courthouse later and ask that they stop processing those papers for us. While I'm out doing that, would you please stick around her and make sure she doesn't do anything else?
No, hold on a second. You don't have to bother with stopping the courthouse now. It seems like the best chance for me, so I'll take her with me and leave the house.
What are you talking about, Clay? I was just saying that she'd have to leave with you in order to get her to shut up. I would never actually kick you out of the house, you know that, right?
Wait, it's not about that, actually. It's just that this is perfect timing for me, and to be honest, for a while now I've been thinking of divorcing you.
Huh?
I'm sure this whole thing with us getting divorced is a shocker to you, but I think it's for the best that we let it happen. This timing's really helped me out. So I'll take Madison with me, and both of us will be out of your hair for good.
Wait a second. What do you mean you've been thinking of divorcing me?
Come on. Look, okay, to be real, for a while now, I've been looking for another woman. And after finding myself the perfect girl for me, she told me that I should get rid of you so that we could be together. So I've been waiting for a time like this to divorce you, run off with her.
Another woman? Clay? Have you been cheating on me?
Like, I've been having trouble finding myself a job. That started to get me angry. During one of those days where I was upset, I went out with a friend to grab some drinks. And well, okay, I ran into this wonderful girl, and from that night on, we've been seeing one another. The reason I'm a much happier man now is because of her supporting me.
What are you saying, Clay? I've been trying to support you this whole time as well, both mentally and physically. Yet you've gone and stabbed me in the back now, and have another woman. Is that why you stopped looking for a job and never did any of the chores at home for me? I can't believe you'd do something like that to me.
Listen to me, Mom. Look, I get that you were trying your best to support me like that, but this other woman is the reason I found myself a new job. And comparing this new job to the one I had before, I'll be making double the income. For some reason, I'm thinking this woman is a goddess of good fortune to me.
You'll be making double? What kind of company did you find that will be paying you that much? Especially after a year of not doing anything after losing your last job.
Actually, the woman I've been going out with happens to be the daughter of the CEO of a very large company. She told me that she'll talk with her parents and have them hire me on the spot and give me a job there. And of course, since I'm dating their daughter, I'll be making more than most of the other employees there. I never knew that dating the perfect woman could lead to such a wonderful life as this.
You're kidding me. You're telling me that the woman you've been cheating on me with is the daughter of a CEO.
I'll be making double what I made before, and this woman is wanting to marry me ASAP. I'm sure that even Madison will be happy to join a family like this. So now that you're aware of all that, you don't have to bother stopping the divorce. I'll let you keep the house, so you go on ahead and get used to your new life of being a lonely, divorced loser.
Isn't my dad freaking amazing? Not only was he able to find himself a young and cute-looking girlfriend while married to you, but that woman also happens to be the daughter of a freaking CEO. That pretty much means that I'll be set for the rest of my life now. Of course, I'll be going with Dad now and will become the daughter of a celebrity. Like her.
Would you cut that out and come back here right now? I will not allow you to go with your dad.
Huh? I don't need your permission to go with him.
Would you please get your head out of the clouds and think all of this through? I don't care that she's the daughter of a CEO. She just took a married man away from his wife. And not only that, but your dad just stabbed your hard-working mother in the back. If you really want to go and live with a man and woman like those two, then you'll only be making your future even more hard on yourself.
Yeah. I like to think that by staying with the divorced old hag, I'd be making my future even more difficult for myself.
Excuse me?
If I were to stay with you, Mom, then I'd be offering myself to live a life of a moneyless little daughter to some jobless and single idiot mother. I get that up until now you've been working and making the money to support the family, but who knows how much longer that luck will last for you. There's a chance that you get fired just like that and can no longer make any money. Or, better yet, the company you work for might go bankrupt, just like Dad's did.
There is always a chance of those kinds of things happening.
So instead of being with some woman who is at risk of all that, I would much rather be with my new mom who happens to be famous and have money and a company she will later get. Starting today, you will no longer be my mom, as that title is being taken by Dad's girlfriend.
Madison?
We don't have any use for you anymore, you lost cause of a woman. I want to start a new life being the daughter of a soon-to-be CEO. A woman like you that got tossed out by someone like Dad can go live a life of nothing but failure and loneliness.
Well, if that's what you think, then when you're crying to me in the future, I'm not going to listen to a word you say. Even if your new mother tries to come and talk to me, I won't even bother talking to her.
Huh? I'd never, ever come crying back to you.
We'll just have to see about that then. I'm sure those talks about Dad getting remarried to that new woman will fall through really soon. Then you'll both end up with no house, and your dad with no job, and we'll have to start eating scraps out of the garbage.
What?
Now, Madison, you enjoy this new life you've created for yourself. It would be wonderful if this new family with your dad and that young woman were to work out in your favor.
What should I do, Mom? Dad, his marriage to that younger woman went down the drain. And as for that new job he was supposed to be getting, it's not happening anymore. Everything has turned out just the way you said it would yesterday. How did you know all of this would be happening to him?
Oh my. Oh my. Who would have thought that something like that would happen so fast? I was giving you guys at least a week before things began to fall apart.
Mom, listen, about that woman's dad. He's the CEO of a company, right? Apparently, he doesn't want his daughter to marry Dad. He started to yell at Dad about being a total waste of a man for cheating on his wife, and then bringing me along to marry his daughter. Then he only became even more mad after hearing about how his daughter wanted him to hire a man like Dad to come work in the company.
I knew that woman had no idea what she was doing by trying to get her dad to hire a man like your dad. The CEO of that company is a very important figure and is known throughout the U.S. as being one of the most hard-headed CEOs. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Rather, he is just very strict and a little old-fashioned. I'm sure he would never take on a man like your dad to go and work for him.
What? What do you mean by all of that? Do you happen to know this CEO? Is he your friend or something?
No. Not on a personal level or anything, but he does happen to be a customer of mine. Well, a customer of the company I work for, so indirectly a customer of mine right now. We have been working with his company for a long time now and happen to know a lot about the man.
What? I didn't know that.
When I found that out for myself, I was surprised. I had to look into the woman your dad cheated on me with in order to get a settlement from her. And that's when I saw that she is the daughter of a man I work with. And what really got me is the fact that she's the daughter of such a serious CEO who you would never think has a daughter that would cause such a mess. I really wonder now what led a man like him to raise a daughter like that.
So you really do know about the CEO and his company then? And that's how you figured a man like him would never hire Dad? And that's how you figured out he would never be allowed to marry his girlfriend?
That's why I was trying to stop you from going with him. But you didn't want anything to do with me, and had wanted to be with your dad and that woman. It would have been really nice for you had Dad figured something out and gotten married to that woman.
Hey, Kelly. Look, I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but could you please take Madison back?
What?
Right now, my girlfriend is saying she doesn't want me keeping Madison with us. She told me that if I try to hold on to her, then the marriage will never happen. She'll have to break up with me, so please, Kelly, can you please take Madison off my hands?
I'm not sure I'll be able to do that for you. The whole reason this divorce happened in the first place is because Madison doesn't want to live with me, right? So you're the only person that can take her now.
But if I have to keep her, then I'll be in trouble. I told my girlfriend that I had a daughter and all that, but she was thinking Madison was still a toddler or something. And now she's telling me she doesn't want a daughter that's already in middle school.
Wow, I wonder why she's being so selfish. Do you really like to be with women like that or something?
Of course I do. Look, she may be selfish, but she's the daughter of a CEO. Even if I can't work for that company, as long as I get married to her, my life will be set. I'll be able to say to everyone that I'm part of a CEO's family, and will have all the money I need.
So because of that, you don't mind losing your daughter. It's funny how you're a father, yet one of the worst humans on this planet.
If you're gonna say something like that, then take a look at yourself. You're supposed to be a mother, yet you let the one child you gave birth to get away from you, like you didn't love her in the first place. Normally, a mother would never want her child to leave her. So please, would you just take her off my hands for me?
I'm not taking her back, as I don't care to see her face anymore. I do not care about that brat anymore.
No way.
Now, good luck getting that girlfriend of yours to accept Madison. I'm sure if you can prove that Madison is a good girl, she'll be happy to have her as her own daughter.
Hey, listen to me, Mom. I can't believe what Dad is doing and saying right now. He's told me that he doesn't want me to be a part of his family anymore, and now he's telling me to go back to you so that he can get married. Right now, Dad is really trying to get rid of me for good, Mom!
That man is a real jerk, isn't he? So now he only wants it to be himself that gets to be in that woman's family. And in order to get that, he's willing to throw away his only daughter.
I was able to get Dad that divorce due to all the work I went through filling out and handing in you guys' divorce papers. And I thought that by going with Dad, we could both be happy together. Dad even told me that due to all the work I put in to get him farther from you and closer to his girlfriend, I'd be able to go to any school I wanted and even travel the world.
I can't believe a cheating man such as your dad would be willing to cheer you on after divorcing your own parents.
Right? He's terrible, Mom. So please, Mom, can you come and get me away from him? Oh, we can work together to make Dad look bad and ruin his life.
What? You want me to do something like that with you?
I have to come back to you anyway, right? And by having me back, you'll be able to get child support from him then, right? So please use me as a way of getting as much money as you'd like from him. That way, he'll be forced to paying you every month, and that will destroy the plans he's had. Let's take so much from Dad that both him and his girlfriend will be hurt.
I see. I'm sure that if I did get a lot of money from them every month, those two would be pretty upset. From what I found out, right now that CEO's daughter is having to live off her daddy's money. The fact that they are both jobless right now could really hurt them in the long run.
Right? And also, I was able to get something very good. Some evidence of those two being together while you were still married to Dad. I was able to get this from Dad's phone.
Are you serious?
I actually went through and copied all their messages they've sent back and forth to one another. And I have a couple pictures of those two that they took together while cheating on you. With evidence like this, you'll be able to get a massive settlement from those two, right? Having as much evidence as possible is great for getting money, right?
You make a good point there, but I already know about everything that they'd been doing.
Oh, come on now, Mom. You can thank me later for this extra stuff, though, right? I'll send it all over to you right now over text.
Are you really okay sending me all that evidence you gathered?
I'm going to make both of those idiots regret ever throwing me away like that. Through both settlements and child support, we'll make sure those two have all their money taken away. So, Mom, let's you and I work together to destroy them.
I'm sorry, Madison. I'll work alone on this one, and you can work by yourself to take them down as well.
What?
I'm not going to take you back. So if you want to get child support or something, then you'll have to work towards getting that money yourself.
Why? Why won't you take me back, Mom? I've told you that Dad is throwing me away now. You're the only other person that can take me now, right?
But from the start, you were the one that threw me away, right? You told me that you hated all those comments I made and said I was too annoying for you to live with anymore. And that's why you went ahead and divorced your own parents, right? I would never want a daughter like that back.
Oh, no way, Mom. Then where am I supposed to go to now? Dad is telling me to go back to you, but you're telling me you won't take me back.
I don't care about that. Go find a foster home to live in. Or maybe try going back to Dad and seeing if you can do something in exchange for him keeping you.
What?
At least I have to say thank you for this evidence you sent me. With all of this on top of what I had, I'll have no problems taking those two to court.
Huh? Hold it right there, Mom. I sent you all of that thinking you'd take me back with you. If you're not going to take me, then give me all that back.
You're the one that sent it all to me before figuring out what would happen. Sorry that you just assumed I'd want to take you back or something.
What?
Come on now, Madison. You really think after being such a total bully to me and handing in those divorce papers for your dad and I without saying anything that I'd want you back in my life? I can't believe you'd actually think something like that. I get that you're only in middle school, but you should have learned by now simple thought processes like that. I'm sorry to say, but if you weren't able to figure out that I don't want you back before I had to tell you, you're going to have a very bad time in this world.
Why are you picking on me so much right now, Mom? I'm asking you to please take me back. You're my mom, right? I will apologize for everything I've done to you in my life, so please don't throw me away too.
I can say this as many times as you need me to. You were the one that threw me away first. You have no right to be complaining about the choices you made now. And I told you before that in the future, that being today, when you come crying back to me, I would not listen, right?
I know you said that, but...
So with that, Madison, you are in middle school now, and you need to learn to take some responsibility for your words and actions. So right after that, I went ahead and took the evidence that Madison had sent me, and was able to take both Clay and his girlfriend to court looking for a settlement from those two. But not knowing that it was his own daughter that sent me all of those screenshots and pictures, Clay went and blamed it on his girlfriend. He assumed it was her that sent me these, in order to get him, along with Madison, away from her. From then on, those two ended up fighting for weeks over whose fault all of that was, without ever finding out that Madison had done it. She was the true backstabber in all of this, and with that evidence I was able to get a massive amount of money from Clay and his girlfriend through a settlement. However, after a few weeks of fighting had gone by, they ended in Clay breaking up with his girlfriend, and then taking Madison with him to go live together in a very small and cramped apartment. But from whatever else I've heard, Madison has not forgotten about how her dad tried to throw her away in order to marry that woman. So even now, that father and daughter relationship they have is ice cold. Well, I like to think of that as them getting what they both asked for. And now you might be asking, whatever happened to me? Well, fortunately enough, I was able to keep the house after the divorce, but the place was too large for me. So weeks later, after getting the money from that settlement, I went ahead and sold that old house and moved myself closer to where the company I work for is actually located. Originally, I was working remotely, and although that had its benefits, being able to go into the office allowed me the chance to move up in the company, as well as see those I work with in person. From the sounds of it, within a few more months, I'll be due for my first promotion within the company. And the promotion will put me as the lead manager for the team that works with that woman's CEO dad.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Hey Irene, is now a good time? I just wanted to say that I'm really sorry that I had to take off early so suddenly. Was the rest of the meeting okay? Did everything go well? Oh, hey there, Sally. Yeah, I think the rest of the meeting went fine. If you're really curious, though, the notes are up on the shared drive. You might want to give this a quick look over earlier when you get to the office tomorrow. You really are the best, you know that. I really am so grateful for you taking that over for me. I mean, you basically did my work for me. Well, I get that life can be hectic and that sometimes you need to call on others for help. But anyways, I heard that you weren't feeling well. Is everything okay? Right, well, that was the excuse that I gave. I did tell people that I wasn't feeling good so I could leave. So then you're saying that you're not really sick at all? I'm sorry, why did you leave work then? Well, that's because I wanted to leave work early, of course. Wait, what? So you just lied to get out of work today? Are you kidding me? I know, it's bad, but I just had something important that I had to get done today. I didn't have any choice. I had to go. But I knew that having to explain all that to our boss was going to take forever, so I just pretended that I wasn't feeling all that great. I see. Well, did you take care of the business that you had to leave to attend to? Yes, I did. I actually just finished right now, so I'm all done. Well, that's good at least. Okay then, I guess I'll just see you at work tomorrow then. Oh wait, that's not all I had to say to you. I actually have something that I just have to tell you. You have something you have to tell me? Well, what is it? I have to tell you about what it was that I had to leave work to take care of. The truth is that I went to the city courthouse. Well, that makes sense, I guess. The best time to go get stuff done there is probably during the weekend while everyone's at work. That's right. And the thing is that the reason I had to go was because I had to sign papers to officiate my wedding. I wanted to get it all done so that they could be processed by tonight. I just couldn't wait any longer, and I really wanted to do this right now. Hold on a second. You were at the courthouse to sign wedding papers? Is that right? Exactly. The reason why I had to leave work early was so that I could get married. Oh my gosh, I had no idea that you were even engaged. This is amazing news. Congratulations. Is that what you wanted to tell me, that you had gotten married? Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. After all, I know that I've come to you with a lot of problems and things that I want to discuss, so I just wanted you to know this. I see. So I take it that you must have married that man that you're always talking to me about then, right? Yeah, he finally decided to propose to me, and I just couldn't wait. So I wanted to go to the courthouse and do our civil ceremony right away. Not only that, but it's also my man's birthday, so it was the perfect day to do this. Hold on a second. So you got married today, which is also your husband's birthday? Are you surprised? I knew that you would be. After all, your husband's birthday is today as well, right? Wow, you sure do have a head for some dates. I didn't even know that you knew anything about my husband. Well, it's not hard to know all that when my husband and your husband are the same person. Wait, what? I don't get it. What do you mean by that? You still haven't figured it out yet, have you? I'm telling you that the man I was always going to ask you advice about, the man who I am now married to, is none other than your husband. Wait, I'm still not following here. Seriously, what are you talking about? Let me put this simply for you. Your husband and I were having an affair behind your back. It's pretty funny when you think about it. But whenever I've talked about my boyfriend, the nights we've spent together, the trips we've gone on, everything was always about things I was doing with and to your husband. But now that you know the truth, I really just can't help but laugh. It really is so funny that it took me telling you for you to figure it out. You can't be serious, right? Are you really having an affair with my husband? I have said pretty much that in at least 3 different ways now. But you know, affair makes it sound so dirty. The truth is that Jerry and I love each other, and now I'm his wife. Wait a second. So you're telling me that you went to the court to get married today, and the man who signed those papers as your husband was my husband, Jerry? That's exactly what I'm saying. Are you finally starting to put it all together now? But that can't be. I mean, Jerry and I aren't even divorced, unless you're also telling me... That's right. You've already been divorced, and you didn't even know. He did it 3 days ago. You mean that Jerry divorced me 3 days ago? But I don't remember ever signing or agreeing to anything at all. I don't get it. Oh, you don't need to worry about that. You see, your husband asked me to look at examples of your handwriting, and so I just forged your signature. And then Jerry and I went to the courthouse together to submit those papers. But that's illegal. Sally, you're admitting to a crime right now. You realize that, right? A crime? What are you talking about? I don't get how anything that helps 2 star-crossed lovers like us marry each other could ever be a crime. We were only doing what we had to do before we could get married, you see? I don't know what to say right now. Well, I certainly hope that you're not going to try and put up a fight about this. It's too late anyways. What's done is done. But, I mean, to think that Jerry would actually cheat on me with you? Well, he didn't cheat on you. He was only sleeping with his future wife before I became his wife. So I think you need to realize that he is all mine and no one wants you. You 2 are divorced now and you're nothing to him. So I want you to pack up your things so that you can leave your house and make room for me. I'm sorry, you're telling me to move out of my own house? Well, no duh. I know that you and Jerry live together in that huge place, right? That house has got to be at least $1 million. I told Jerry that I want to live there with him. I've already started packing my bags. The only thing that's left is for you to move out. And once I move in, I'm finally going to quit my job and become a housewife. Is that really your plan? You're going to quit just like that? Have you even told anyone from the office that's what you're doing? I was actually going to tell the people who needed to know after I finished talking with you. But I just needed to make sure that you knew this had all already happened and that there would be no point in fighting it. So after work, why don't you just go home, pack up your things, and get out of my husband's life? Anyways, Jerry and I have a little dinner date to celebrate our getting married. I've got to go now. Wait, what? You can't just say all of that and then just run off without any further explanation. That's crazy. Jerry, what in the world is going on right now, huh? Did you seriously divorce me and get married to another woman? You realize that we were still in the middle of working a lot of things out, weren't we?
Well, I figured that this was just the easier way to do things. Besides, I didn't think you'd go along with the divorce if I brought it up.
That's because I only found out that you were cheating on me a week ago. We were still in the middle of talking about what we were going to do. But I guess you already know what you wanted to do since you went and got us divorced. What in the world were you thinking doing that, huh?
Well, I thought that it was the only way I'd be able to marry Sally. Don't you get it? I mean, did you really think that I would choose staying with you when I have a young, pretty thing like Sally waiting for me instead? Why would I do that to myself? I tried explaining that I wanted to end things, but you just weren't having it.
You really have some nerve, do you know that?
Well, you can only blame yourself. I told you about how I wanted to marry a woman who was a housewife. You were the one who said that you wanted to keep working and you didn't want to be cooped up in the house.
And just how do you think we're supposed to pay off our mortgage with a single income? Don't you realize that we can't afford me to quit my job and stay at home? I mean, you certainly don't make enough to keep up with all the payments on different things that we have to make. Why would you just go and do this?
Oh, don't worry about the mortgage. I already paid it all off. That was around the time when I asked you if you wanted to quit your job and become a housewife instead.
You really think that that was the only reason we had to worry about money? I know how much of a big spender you are. There is just no way we could ever afford me to quit my job.
See, there you go again. Not listening to me. I'm telling you that you can quit your job and let me take care of you. And you're just shooting me down right away without even thinking about it. So like I said, you really have no one to blame but yourself for this one. How can I feel that you really love me if this is the way that you're acting?
What does any of this have to do with how I love you?
Well, if you really love me, then you just do whatever I said when I said it, right?
You can't be serious about that, right? Please tell me that that's supposed to be some kind of bad joke.
Yeah, you're just proving my point, you know? Anyways, it doesn't matter now, because we're divorced. And I have a new wife as of today. So I'm afraid that you can't stay at the house any longer. I want you to pack up your bags and leave, Irene.
Are you kidding me? You know that you can't just kick me out, right?
Well, I told you last week that I wanted to get a divorce. I told you I wanted to marry someone else.
I know exactly what you were doing. I know that you wanted to divorce me just so that you could marry this other woman. But we still had so much to talk about. We weren't through discussing alimony, lawsuits for the affair, how to split our assets, all of that stuff.
You already know who it is that I'm married to now, right?
That wasn't even on the list of things that I wanted to talk with you about.
Well, the point is that I put up the money for this house and I want to live with the person I love. I just don't need you anymore.
So you're telling me that you really love Sally? So much so that you're willing to just kick me to the curb like this? That's how badly you want to be living together with Sally?
Yeah, does the factor of force not tell you all that you need to know? Don't talk to me like we're married anymore.
Well, fine then. I guess since you both want this so bad, there's really no point in arguing anymore.
It's more than just a want for this. It's a need. Our hearts are tied to one another, and that's why we can't live without each other. We're soulmates. Don't you get that? We're always going to end up together because that's what the universe wants for us. We're only following the universe's plans for us by getting rid of anything in our lives that might keep us apart. And that includes you. Now that I've met Sally, I know that there's nothing else I need. And with that, I say goodbye.
Wait, what? You're just going to quit talking to me just like that? We still have things that we need to discuss, Jerry. Hey, answer me right now. I'm serious. Hey there, Irene. I just wanted to say good work yesterday. I called the office yesterday and I found out that you also ended up taking some time off, didn't you? Don't tell me that you had to use some of your paid time off to pack up all your things just for me. You have got some nerve coming back to talk to me after you told me what you were doing with my husband. Well, I really am sorry that things had to end up the way they are. I'm sure that you're going through a lot of difficult emotions right now, but that better not slow you down while you're moving out. You are clearing out a space for me at Jerry's house, right? Have my bags already arrived there? Your bags? What are you talking about? Have you already started sending your stuff over? Haven't you heard? I'm going to be moving into that house from today. Jerry and I want to start living together as soon as possible. So that's why you need to keep packing up your things. Don't keep me waiting too long. Wait a second. You mean that you were going to move into this house from today? Well, of course I was. Once you move out, there's really no need to wait any longer, is there? That's why I thought you'd be done by now. Didn't I tell you that that house was my dream house? I've always wanted to live in a huge place like that, and being there with Jerry is just going to make it perfect. I see. Well, even though I'm fond of the house, I don't think that Jerry wants to give it up. But the house is worth so much more than when we first bought it, Well, I'm just so excited to be living in my dream house with my dream man, tending to my garden while he's at work and then making sure dinner's ready before he gets home. It's going to be simply amazing. But first, you have to move out of there so that I can move in. Just keep an eye out for my luggage when it gets there and bring it into the house for me. I don't need you to do anything else for me after that. You really think that you can just boss me around like this? You must really think that I'm going to just get up and leave. I don't really know what you think because I already know what's going to happen. You and Jerry are divorced. You shouldn't be living together. You need to just get your things and go. That way I can finally be with my soulmate for the rest of my life. Right. Well, the only problem there is that I own this house. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Jerry told me about how he was the one paying for the house, so that means that it's his house, right? I don't know what else to say except that it's my name on the mortgage. But that can't be right. That's my dream house. You can't be the real owner. I'm not sure what you've heard about the house from Jerry, but the house has always belonged to me since we moved in there. You have to be lying to me. Jerry said that he was the one who paid the loan. Well, the loan is certainly paid off, but I was the one who paid it all. But that can't be right. It is. I paid for the house, the utilities, the insurance, everything. I can show you some of the bank statements I have that prove it all. Please tell me that this is some kind of bad joke or something. If you don't believe me, then that's really on you, but I'm just trying to tell you the truth. I own the house. But Jerry told me that the house cost over $1 million, and if you paid for everything, then just where did you get that money from? Oh, come on, you don't really think that I could afford to have all that money lent to me with our salaries? I don't understand. How did you get all of that money in the first place then? How did you afford to get a loan large enough to cover all that? My dad took out the loan for me, if you must know. Wait a second, you mean you asked your dad for help? That's right, my dad owns his own business, so he has quite a bit of capital and has access to those kinds of loans. So I asked my dad if he could co-sign my loan, and in the end, he ended up accepting liability for about 4/5, while I took on 1/5 of the total amount. But then because my dad paid off the loan, I was basically just repaying my dad with no interest. So when I finished paying for the house, I really just finished paying my dad back. But then, doesn't that mean that the house would actually belong to your dad in that case? Well, my dad actually passed away last year, but before he did, he changed the name on the deed to me and I inherited the land. But then, how did Jerry end up thinking that the house was his? You two started seeing each other about a year ago now, right? I think that Jerry was so obsessed with his little love affair that he didn't even bother to check about the process. He was always too busy lying about being busy with work to check that his name had been put on the deed as well. When my dad died, he told me to handle everything by myself, and so I did. So then, He didn't even make sure that his name was on the deed? That's right. So not only did I end up paying for the house, but I also have legally and properly inherited it. But then, if you're the real owner of the house, then that means that I won't be living there. No, it means neither you nor Jerry is going to be living here, since Jerry has no right to stay here now that we're divorced. So I suppose you two will just have to find somewhere else to live. But you can't do this to me. I already sent my bags over there. Right, well, when the delivery person comes, I'll just refuse to sign for the packages. Don't worry. But if you don't pick up all my things, then what's going to happen to them? Won't they get sent back to me or something? I don't know. Why don't you go call Jerry and ask him to figure it out for you? I have to go and call my lawyer to tell them that I'll be pressing charges for the affair you two were having. Although I guess since I imagine you've already canceled your lease and are all packed up, you probably don't have a place to live anymore. So I guess I should have my lawyer send his letter to your parents? You want to send the letter saying that you're suing me to my parents? Why on earth would you do that? Well, don't you think they should know about the crimes you committed? And I'm not just talking about the cheating. You also impersonated me by forging my signature. Oh, come on. You're not really upset about that, are you? I told Jerry that I would divorce him when we worked out all the details of how it would happen. Instead, you and him snuck around and ended our marriage out of convenience for yourselves. And if you think that I'm going to take that kind of identity theft lightly, then you're dead wrong. Anyways, I'll go ahead and tell my lawyer to forward those letters to your parents' house. After that, the delivery person with Sally's bag showed up. I followed through on what I said and refused to sign for them. I heard that Sally and Jerry had to spend 2 hours trying to collect their bags from the mailroom. I heard that Sally did end up moving back in with her parents, but when they found out what she had done and the trouble she was in, they kicked her out before a week had even passed. Now, Sally and Jerry lived together in a cramped apartment. They couldn't afford anything more since their jobs found out about what happened. They were both severely demoted. The day Jerry moved out of my house, I took some of my dad's favorite snacks and went to go visit his grave, where I told him all about what happened to me.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.